All right, so I figure we will get started. If we have any late stragglers, that's fine too. Let me put this in presentation mode. And again, if for any odd reason you can't see what's going on, just let me know at some point and we'll get it fixed. Just to start, my name is Jen Myers. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me, I am the social media / comms person for disaster recovery for the County of Hawaii's Disaster Recovery Division. The reason that I am passionate about social media is I've been in communications for, oh gosh, since 2005, 2006 professionally. So I've managed social media pages with up to 2 million followers. I have a social media following of across all platforms about 75,000. And I really like social media. I think it's really fun and entertaining and a great way to kind of showcase, what you can do, what your brand can do, and basically just kind of have a great way to convey what folks are up to. So, of course, we're going to start by talking about what we're going to talk about. So first off, we're going to talk about branding, voice, and consistency. We're going to talk about ChatGPT, Canva, video editing, and then we're going to play a game called What's Wrong with This Graphic? So before we do that, I know we have 10 folks here. If I could just get everybody to unmute for a second and tell me who you are and what organization you work for. And then like popcorn. We'll start with Jan.
Oh, hi, Jan Patnode here. I'm in Hawaii and I actually, hopefully it's okay if I'm here without an organization. The organization is, I basically consult to a company and we help people with food and chemical sensitivities. So I'm here for myself.
Love that. Love that you're here for that. That's exactly what we're looking for too. So don't even worry that that's what we're here for. Popcorn to someone else.
This is Tim Lloyd. Can you hear me? Okay. For myself, and also I'm trying to get HawaiiCon happening again under Island Galaxy, which we had for 7 years to bring people from all over the world to our island. And so we're trying to reset that. So hopefully this will help in that process.
Timmy.
Hi, Tim.
I know you, dude. Timster.
I'm eating Tim's Mac nuts right now.
Now I want some.
Hey, Jan.
Hi, this is Amadeo Markov from Pahoa Lava Zone Museum.
Hey, Amo.
Hey, Ame.
Hi.
I'm Kevin Cashel, and I am very involved in a lot of volunteer county-related things, community-related things in Pahoa. I'm the secretary of the Pahoa Lava Zone Museum, the vice president of the Main Street Pahoa Association. I volunteer at the high school. I'm the secretary of the school community council, and they could always use some help this way too. And I also have a little cottage industry of, I take care of some cows, so I am selling compost made from the manure of cows.
Cool.
Magic in a bag. So that's what my
Nice.
jewel in my crown.
Hi, I'm Liz Ambrose and I work for the Lyman Museum in Hilo, Hawaii.
Thanks, Liz.
Good to see everybody. Keiko Mercado. I at the Office of Housing and Community Development.
Okay, I don't know how to work this. Sorry.
My name is Alyssa Hanshu and I own Aloha Safety and Health. I teach predominantly CPR, AED, and first aid classes.
Hi, I'm Raina Rasmussen. I'm the Keoho Farmers Market Manager, and I am also the garden coordinator at Hononau Elementary School and a substitute teacher.
Fab. Did I
I
miss
don't,
anybody?
I don't know how to operate this thing. I'm sorry.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
I don't know if you can see me or not. Because I cannot. I just tap to speak. I'm Jibile and I'm on the Wahoo and I'm here for myself.
Love that. Whether you're here for yourself, whether you're here for an organization, I'm just so, so grateful that all of you took the time to take an hour out of your day to learn about things that I think you're going to find extraordinarily useful. For those of you who maybe joined a little bit later than the rest, just so that you guys are familiar with how I teach a course, it's really very relaxed. I want you guys to pipe up if you're lost, if you have a question, if you have something you want to add. Really, if at any point, like I'm a really interactive person, I'm going to be asking you guys things. I want you guys to be asking me things. Really, I want this to be kind of a journey we take together so that by the end of this, all of us kind of have not just a better understanding of ChatGPT and Canva, but also kind of a better networking opportunity where we can all kind of get a good opportunity to connect with people we haven't spoken with in the community yet. So glad you're all here. Let's get to it. So like I said, we've got this whole thing that we're going to be talking about today, ChatGPT, Canva. We're even going to be doing a little bit of video editing. When I sent out the survey additionally for all of our Puna Strong folks to ask them about what they wanted to see in a social media class, because this originally came from their brains. They said that they wanted us to do a social media class to kind of help them, not just with branding, but with using Canva, because a lot of people get really overwhelmed with Photoshop. Photoshop is a great program, but it's really technical, and Canva is the opposite of that. Canva is super user-friendly and super great about taking people who have no design background and turning them into a social media graphics and video maven. And basically by the end of this hour, I'm going to take you from I can only post a photo to I can post a GIF, we're going to post videos, we're going to do all sorts of stuff. So let's see first up what we've got going on here. Again, let me know if you're not able to see what we're talking about here. So this is the most boring slide that we will have for the entire presentation, I promise you. But when it comes to branding and voice and consistency, when we say these kind of things, we're talking about pages and posts and platforms being uniform, so that if you have, let's say the County of Hawaii has a social media platform, and they were on TikTok and they were on Instagram and Facebook. All of those things should look similar enough that if I'm on the County of Hawaii's TikTok, it should look like their Instagram. It should look like their Facebook. All of these things should be similar enough that if I'm going from platform to platform, that they look like each other, so that I'm not suddenly like, who is this? You should be able to tell who somebody is. That brand recognition might seem like it's something just for Starbucks, but that for your organization on social media is such an important thing. Think of it kind of like a quilt. If anybody here has ever owned a quilt or been a quilter, you sew all these squares together, and they don't all have to be the same, but you don't want a denim square next to a silk square, that kind of thing. You want things to kind of have some cohesion. Even if things are different, they should have some consistency. Think like sisters, like they can be different, but they should all come from the same mama, so that you at least can see that kind of consistency across pretty much any platform. And then that platform should match your brand. And I can say all of this, but it's not really going to hit unless I'm really able to kind of show it to you. So let's break this down by using an actual brand to show you exactly what I mean. And I'm going to actually use our brand, which is Kilauea Recovery, which is at Kilauea Recovery, if you guys haven't followed us already. I'm not sure why it's not displaying them. Hopefully it is displaying our icon here for some odd reason. Is that showing up on anyone else's screen where you can see our logo? Are you kidding me? That makes me so sad. Anyways, we have a logo. It's under here. And what I did basically is I took our logo. Let me see if I stop it and restart it again. See, now it shows the logo. Oh, only when it's small. Okay, well, let's just keep it small then. So here's the Kilauea Recovery logo. This is what I inherited when I came to this job. And then basically I had the freedom to build an entire brand off of this logo. So then you have something called hero colors, which is you pick a group of colors. It can be between 3 and 6 colors based on your logo and based on the kind of the brand and the feel that you have. And then you build your entire brand off that. So you can see this main blue here on Kilauea Eruption translated to this main blue here on the left-hand side of the hero color scheme that you see right here. And then when you look at our Facebook page here on the right, you can see these 4 blue colors are everywhere. If you see one of our posts when you're scrolling through Facebook amongst all the other posts, somewhere in the back of your brain, when you see this kind of, when you see our fonts, when you see our color scheme, your brain kind of automatically says, oh, that's Kilauea Recovery. Oh, they have an update about the voluntary housing buyout program. Like this brand building kind of helps you get to the point where people can just with memory see something and then say, oh, I know exactly who that's from. And then when you see it on Instagram, very similar. Now we do share some of our sister content from our Revitalized Puna, who's one of our sister brands, but even though they don't share the same color scheme, we still kind of look like sisters to each other. So we have very similar kind of color, even though they're not the same color scheme, they have kind of similar vibes, which is hard to describe if you're not really like thinking about it. But if you look at them all together, they do like a quilt, they kind of all do match. Another really good example of this, not to like toot our own horn here, but Mayor Mitch, his Facebook and Instagram page for the County of Hawaii does a really great job of taking the seal of Hawaii, which you can see here, right here, taking this yellow and this red from the county logo, and then putting it in absolutely everything that they do. And so you can see this town hall meeting update here that was really beautiful, has that county yellow, has the county red, and all these colors are consistent too. So once you pick a color, you stick with it. It's not just, oh, it's sort of a bright blue, like you know what color this is because you know the color key. And if you're not familiar with that on Canva, and we'll talk about this later, but like just like a little thing, you get something called a color key. Are you guys able to see this color key pop up here on the left? When you color sample, like if I come over here to the county red, it will tell me the color key for county red, which is hashtag D51B22. And this color yellow has a very specific color key, and that follows between any computer, between any printer. That way it stays consistent. Starbucks is really great about this. Starbucks green is a very specific shade of green that stays consistent all the way through all of their products and all of their branding. And they are very specific about that color green. So like if it's ever not that color green, ooh, look out. So County Hawaii does a great job with this. They have a very distinct brand voice too. But the idea here is, again, if I were to show you this page, her 2 posts left and right, like, does anyone want to guess whose page this is on the left? Do you think it's Kilauea Recovery, or do you think it's Mayor Mitch on the left? Anyone want to guess?
I think it's Mayor.
Well, I think it's Mayor Mitch. I think the logo on the right there.
So the yellows and the reds on the right are Mayor Mitch, and the blues on the left are Kilauea Recovery. Like if I take away the blur, you can see there. And so the idea is that even if you're not really seeing the post, and if you're just kind of scrolling past it, your brain still kind of registers, hey, this is what's going on here. And that's why kind of that brand recognition is just, even if it's just something really small, like a consistent color or a consistent logo or a consistent style, it's really important. And then something that a lot of people aren't familiar with is a brand voice. Every brand, every organization, everybody has their own voice. I have my specific voice, which is like playful, learning, ridiculous. Like that's my brand. Mayor Mitch Roth has a very serious but very like kind and endearing tone. think about, you know, Katy Perry or Starbucks, or, you know, any brand, any person has their own brand, has their own way of speaking. And you might be saying, you know, I don't know what kind of brand my organization is. Like, it's a really tough question, but if you're having trouble, I think a really great thing to ask is, what does your brand not sound like? What is something you would never say? What's something you would never post? And you can kind of work backwards from that. And again, love giving examples on this. Starbucks here on the left is really great about, whenever you look at any of their posts, they're very, I wouldn't say saccharine, but they're just very straight to the point and very sweet and very bubbly and very kind. And it's just like, we're making sweet memories. We're drinking a pumpkin spice latte, you know, like it's just very, like when you hear Starbucks brand posts, like they're very consistent throughout everything. And I think someone who does a great job of stepping outside the box in a completely unexpected way is the National Park Service, the post that you see here on the right. When you think National Park Service and what kind of voice that they would have and what kind of post that they would have, you aren't necessarily thinking about, like you would think, oh, they're going to be educational, they're going to be informative. But the person who took over National Park Service a couple years back decided, yeah, I'm going to be informative and I'm going to be instructional and people are going to learn, but I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to be super cheeky and I'm going to be super funny. Like if you look at this post, this is the National Park Service post on Instagram where their post says, "You barks at prairie dog. Prairie dog. Hearing you make 6 grammatical errors and insulting their mother in one bark. Wow, really? Please bark responsibly. Prairie dog noises, aka barks, are actually quite sophisticated. They range from territorial calls to chirps between family members to mating calls and even alarm calls for potential threats. Like many animals, communication is an important survival skill. Who are you calling a McNugget? Like, I'm here for it. Like snaps. And if you guys like have extra time, go to National Park Service, look at their Instagram, look at their TikTok, look at all of their, it's so cheeky and it's so fun. And I just love it because think about the fact that like if they weren't cheeky and they weren't fun, like no one's really going to care much about what National Park Service has to say. They're going to basically just say, okay, if I'm going to go to a national park, I'm going to see, are they open? Do they have any good photos? Like, no, but now they are a national phenomenon where everybody is basically waiting on them to post something fun or ridiculous. But that was also educational because even though they were being cheeky, they were also like, let's learn about prairie dog vocalizations. And they did it in a fun and exciting way. And I just think that's a really good example. So next is Canva, which I've actually kind of inadvertently showed you because this presentation, while was going to be gorgeous, it just really makes me sad because like you can't really see anything when I had it in the other form because it kept removing all my icons, which is really sad. And that's not normal. I'm thinking that's actually my computer. Anywho, canva.com. Feel free to follow along if you want to. If not, you can do it after this. There's a free version, but there's also a paid version that gives you 5 slots for $30 a month, which seems like a lot, and it is. But if you're building your brand or your business, like that $30 a month for the pro version, as I'm going to show you here, is, I think, well worth it. Because even though the free version has a ton of great features, the pro version has everything, including AI built in, to basically build your posts for you in a way that like I would pay it $30 a month easily. And you can also, like, if you've got 5 slots for 5 slots for $30, if you know 5 other people who need it, it's basically $6 a month. So I use it for everything.
I was going to ask you, what do you mean by 5 slots?
5 slots. Oh, that's a great question. So Jan, what that means is like when you pay for one license for $30 a month, it gives you 5 slots, which means you can attach 5 email addresses to it. So you can have 5 users who can use it. So you can make that 5 people inside your organization, or it can be 5 friends of yours who all have different businesses. Granted, you'll all be using the same Canva account, but you can organize the Canva account so that you can all have your own folders and all have separate accounts, so that not separate accounts, but separate places where you keep all your content, so everything's not in one big jumbled pile, like it stays organized, but that keeps costs down for folks. That was a really good question. So do you guys want to, I thought we might just like kind of build a post together from scratch so that you guys can kind of see how it works. So when you sign on to Canva, this is the screen that you're on, which can everybody see this where it says like, what will you design today? Is that what you guys are seeing? Great. This is really overwhelming for a new user because there are so many things here. There's so many buttons to push and so many things that are going on here. There are really only a couple important parts to this. First, all your projects that you're working on are below here, but you can also organize them to the side here. And remember when I said you can make like project folders and all of that, that all comes down to the side rail here. But really, here, let's go back to the home page. There's really only one button on this whole page that matters. Only one button. If you take one thing from this entire thing, this entire presentation, it's upper right-hand corner is this button that says Create a Design. When you click this button, it's going to ask you, what kind of thing are you designing? Are you making an Instagram post? Is it a Facebook post? Is it a post that you want to turn into both an Instagram post and a Facebook post and a TikTok post and a YouTube video? And basically when that happens, when you have a post that you want to turn into multiple things, I always say start with the smallest aspect ratio, start with the smallest kind of window that you're looking through, which would be usually Instagram, which is a 1:1 aspect ratio versus YouTube, which is 16:9, which is what you're viewing me on right now. So Instagram would be this on the screen that you're seeing me right now. Facebook is about this, and then 16:9 is the full screen. So how about we make an Instagram post? Somebody suggest something we should make an Instagram post for. We'll make it fun and exciting. We'll let the audience choose. Choose a topic or an event or surprise me.
I have an idea. How
Ooh,
about
give it to me.
create a flyer for Leilani Estates Saturday sales?
Oh, love it. Okay, great. So you have a couple of options. First, you'll notice that it created the 1:1 ratio, which is great because then we don't have to crop anything or do anything ridiculous. It's already there. You have a couple of options. You can do it totally from scratch, which doable, easy, or you can see here, once you've created the design, it gives you that space to work in, that canvas right here. But it's really this left-hand side rail where all the fun things happen. Again, you might look at this and you might get like, oh my God, there's so much going on here. It's only the top 3 buttons that matter. Design, which is right here, elements, and text. Those are really the top 3 things that you can do 90% of everything you want to do with that. And then when you get creative and when you start to really get to know Canva, then everything below here really comes into play. So if you're coming on here and saying you want to do a flyer, which Jan, great idea, you can come up and hit design, which we're already on. And they have this template folder right here, which has tons of templates. And you said it's a sale, right? Is it like a garage sale?
It's community. Yeah, it's like community sale. So it's like garage sale stuff, maybe food, but it's mostly people bringing their art or their garage sale type items.
Right on. So
sometimes there's music.
Love it. We are not the first person who's come on here and thought, hey, I want to create a flyer for a garage sale. Yeah, what's up?
I just have to tell somebody I'm not available right now.
Oh, okay. So look at all these garage sale flyers. And you might don't look at these and say, oh, that doesn't say what I want it to say. These can say whatever you want. You're only looking for something that has a design that you're looking for. So I mean, we can get, I love this one because it's like, it looks very tropical.
Hawaii.
Yeah. So then you're like, okay, Leilani community sale. And you're like, uh-oh, doesn't fit. Cool. You just select it. And then when you go to the top here, you can do things like decrease the font size, and you can also do that just by dragging and dropping. And if I do it like that, then you suddenly notice, uh-oh, it's not centered anymore. And what I love so much about Canva, it makes it so easy. You literally just grab something and it makes these magical, I call them the magical crosses that pop up whenever you're aligned vertically and horizontally. See those purple lines that like pop up? See how they disappear? But when I hit them perfectly, they pop up. And that tells me I'm perfectly centered. So Leilani, it's happening at
The
the
Lion States Community Garage
the
Sale.
community center.
Saturday, February, I don't know, whatever it is, the next one. It's always the
Saturday,
first Saturday of the month, so.
February, whatever, we'll say 12th. Why not? And like you can see here, you know, it kind of goes over, so you just drag it. And then again, we're off center. So you just kind of grab it and center it here. And you know, anything you don't like, you just select and delete, which is easy. And then as you're kind of creating, you can say, okay, I like this, I like that. You can also change the colors. So like it has the template style here, but you can shuffle the colors. Although it's not doing any shuffles that I like because it's only doing it with one color scheme, which is not the color scheme that I like. So I just Control Z. Are you guys familiar with Control Z? It's the best thing ever on computers for someone like me, because when you make a mistake, you just Control Z and it goes away. Also, another really, really helpful thing on Canva is the Control, Shift, and Alt button. They all do really different things. So let's say I really like this Monstera leaf, but I want to select all of them. Then you hit, you select one of the Monstera leaves, you hold down the Shift button, and you can select the rest, and then you can basically move them all at the same time, which is nice. You can also say like, oh, cool, I like the Monstera, but I really want, how about a Lehua flower? Oh, that's not in templates, that's in elements. So they have photos, they have videos. Do they have any graphics? Of course not, because I'm using the Hawaiian name. Someone else name a Hawaiian flower that's probably more popular than a lehua flower. Maybe hibiscus?
Plumeria.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, they, especially when you have the pro version, like they have all these things in their little library of options so that you can take an already made format and just kind of add your own sparkle to it. I'm also a really big fan of movement. So I love posting graphics like this. And I think there should be some balance here. So I'm just gonna like, it's not the prettiest graphic. I'm not saying this is like the best, but let's at least make it balanced. I like the beach in the background here, but let's make it beachier. Is that a word? So like Hawaiian beach. And let's do like this. So now this is a video.
Oh, wow.
And this is where it gets fun. So you'll notice it kind of covered up everything we did. That happens. Just like Photoshop, you got to think about everything you do in layers, like layers of paper, and they're kind of hard to visualize. So what you do is you just right click and you ask it to show all the layers. And it's like, oh, well, no wonder all the hibiscus and the monstera are covered up, because that layer of paper is on top of all of those. So you just drag it so it's underneath them, and then they come up, and then basically when you're done with it, let's see if it plays. So it makes like this really pretty graphic that took us 3 minutes. Like,
Wow.
You want to jump in?
gorgeous. Right. Like Canva, y'all. Canva. Such a big fan. And like, I'm really sad that Zoe isn't here because Zoe, our revitalized Puna coordinator, who also is a big fan of Canva. When I first came to work here, she's like, oh, what do you use for your social media graphics? And I'm like, Photoshop, like a normal human being. And she's like, nah, girl, Canva. And now I can't even remember last time I touched Photoshop. Like everything I do is in Canva. You'll also notice here, like,
Can you upload your own video clips?
totally. You can
Oh, 'cause
upload.
I mean, I just have one of the ocean rolling in and I'm like, oh, I could use that on, okay.
And I love that. Like for your own brand, shoot your merchandise. If you're an organization, shoot your people doing community work, make that a background. And like, I'm old fashioned and I know that this is silly, but I'm a big fan of like putting up a video and then pulling down the transparency like this and just giving it kind of a subtle, except that there's still that here it is. See how that original beach is still in the background? It makes it look wonky. You just delete that. And now like it just looks like really subtle in the background because you pulled down the transparency. It doesn't look like perfect with this one. I think it looks better with the transparency pulled up, but like take videos, take pictures, you can upload them all. And on the left-hand side, you can see where I've pulled up where it says upload here on the left-hand side rail. All of your uploads that will that you put on here will then be in this area. But the great part is that Canva has one of the largest libraries of music, video, pictures, so that you don't have to have any worry about using someone else's copyright. Because I don't know about you guys, if you've ever created content, you have to be extraordinarily careful when it comes to not stepping on someone's copyright infringement. So using someone's photo without permission, using someone's video without permission, anything you find on Canva is copyrighted by Canva and you are allowed to use. Tim, I saw your hand up. What was your question?
Yes, the waves are rotating in a circular fashion. Is that part of what you picked, or did you just make that happen?
That's part of the video. And so when you shoot video, you can keep that in mind. And if you don't like that, then you can like delete it and put something else in. Ooh, I like the fact that I just took the shade off of that
spiraling.
too. Yeah, it's spiraling because they shot the video in a spiral.
Okay.
I think it's from a
all right.
drone. But like
It's
if you
not
don't
you creating that to happen.
No, but you can create that to happen by clicking on the top here. There's an animate button. And you can choose things like pan and rise and pop, and not just for videos, but for pictures and for, paintbrush tool. Kavehi, I hope I said that correctly.
Thanks.
Also incredibly helpful tool. And anything that you put on here can then be animated. So, and keep in mind too, you do want to animate some things, but you don't want to animate everything because then it becomes overloading. But the key is to find what things on your graphic look really good when animated and to kind of find that balance. So
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I said thank you.
Oh, of course. One thing that we will talk about later too, one thing that I've noticed about being a social media person here too, is you have to be really careful about picking culturally sensitive items. So like, for instance, if I wanted a hula dancer in the background of this post, does anyone know why you would want to be really careful about posting a hula dancer in the background of a social media post? Anyone want to take a stab? Well, the answer is like, is this a Tahitian hula dancer? Is this a hula dancer not from Hawaii? Is this traditional hula, or is this more of the Americanized hula when it comes to us being more, performative when it comes to Hawaiian culture? So you have to be really careful when it comes to posting things that have cultural meanings here to make sure that you're not sending the wrong message. So that's been a real learning opportunity for me, is making sure that the things that I post are culturally sensitive and culturally appropriate, and given, the right kind of Hawaii, and not posting something and saying, oh, this is Hawaiian. It is not Hawaiian. Like it's Tahitian, or this is from Fiji. It gets really complicated, but the best thing you can do is find someone who does know and just ask.
Plus, it's
People
not
are-
really representing a yard sale.
Exactly. It's not representing a yard sale, but like you get it. Like it's a good way to kind of say. But here's another fun thing, and I probably should show you guys this because this is so useful. So once you have your little post that you've made, say that you are now ready to post this would be Instagram because it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You go up here to the top left and you go to File and you go to Download. And when you hit download, this is where things get really fun. It's going to give you options. You can make it an MP4 video, which since we made it a video, that's what we wanted because it's going to look the best that way. But you can also make it a GIF, which means there's no music, which we could have put music behind it, by the way. There's no music for a GIF. We could have done it traditional style with just video. You can also just make it a standard JPEG and upload that. That's just a photo, no motion, and then uploaded it that way. And then when you're done, you just hit download and it goes straight to your downloads folder, which is so easy. But let's say like, okay, I've made this for Instagram. Now I want Facebook, because what I see, one of the biggest things I see people do, which is really sad, is they have great content, but they post exactly the same content from Instagram to Facebook, and they have different aspect ratios. So what you do is you come up here to Magic Switch and you hit Magic Switch and you say, okay, I have an Instagram photo, but I want a Facebook post. And if you want like multiples, like, oh, I want Facebook and I want TikTok, you can also do multiples at the same time. Hit continue. Here's where AI comes into play. The AI from Canva will then look at your photo, and I will warn you, the AI here is still not great at its job, but it's trying, and I'm trying to keep that in mind. It's doing its best. You're going to hit resize to 2 designs. So you open them up. Yep, allow pop-ups. There we go. Did it do it? It did. Okay, so here's the Facebook one. See, now this is no longer 1-to-1. This is Facebook ratio. So you could take it, and if it wasn't quite fitting properly, but the AI actually did a really good job here. I was hoping it would be really bad, because when it's really bad, it's so bad. It's so bad and so funny, and you just want to be like, AI, go home, you're drunk. No. So let's just say it was bad. Then you can kind of come in here, drag, drop, move things around until you do find where it does look good, and then boom, you're done. So you can switch between Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and it just makes everything so much easier, because it used to be you'd have to start all over again. Okay, so now I want to play a game with you guys, because I feel like we kind of got the basics down. But now that you guys kind of know, okay, how do we use Canva? Now I want you to use your brains and say, now that I know how to use Canva, how can I make sure I'm not making mistakes? So I've got this graphic up.
Jeez.
What looks bad about this?
Typing, the font, the color.
Yes. Yes. What else?
Can't
It's
read
not
it.
balanced. Can't
The
read
weight
it.
on there is kind of obnoxious.
Yes. All of these things.
Color
You guys,
contrast.
full points, full credit. Anyone want to go for the bonus point of the logo? What's wrong with the logo?
Can't read
It's
logo.
the
It doesn't-
square white rather than blended in.
Yes.
Right.
It is the bane of my existence is square logos, or I'm sorry, circular logos in white squares. It is the easiest thing to fix. So if you have, like, if you upload your logo and you're like, oh, I mean, I would love to get rid of the white background, but I don't know how, Canva knows how. So you select your logo after you've drag and drop it in from anywhere on your computer. Just literally drag it from your desktop, drag it from a folder onto Canva, and it'll automatically upload it for you. So then you just select the logo and you go up here to edit photo in the top left. And that gives you all these fabulous options. Background remover, which removes the background from any photo. You can magic expand, which uses AI. So if you took a photo and you're like, man, I really wish I had more space on either side of this, it will magically fill in with AI. You can also edit things so that like if someone's holding a basketball, but you need them to hold a soccer ball, you can tell it to do that and it will do it and it looks realistic.
Well, most of the time, I've loved the ones where the people end up with 6 fingers and 2 legs.
Right. AI
Or
is
3
not great with
legs.
hands. I do not suggest asking it to do hands. It seems to really struggle with hands, but everything else it's really great at. But hands seem to be a real struggle. But like here, background remover. Oh, this is a great example. It removed all the white in here, and you're like, that's not what I wanted. I just wanted the white on the background. So you can edit the, hold on here. Edit photo. There we go. And hit restore. So I actually do want the white that's inside here, and you can make this circle bigger or smaller. Stop it. I'm getting a little trigger happy, but pretending that like I'm taking my time here and doing this perfectly. Then you go back and boom, you have
Oh,
your
wow.
logo correctly done with no silly white square that makes you look like you're not knowing what you're doing. Look at that. It's beautiful. So you can resize just by taking these squares. And then what else did you guys say? You said the fonts were awful, right? So then changing the font, there are thousands of fonts in Canva, like legitimately any font. And what I love about Canva too is that it gives you the font in the font name, in the font type. So you actually know what it looks like. So you can actually just kind of scroll through here and be like, okay, I need something that's readable and something that's readable on like a background that we're probably going to change anyway, but you know, it needs to be at least a little bit thicker. So like that. That works. You can also go into effect. One of my favorite things too is to add shadows to text, especially when you're on a picture. So add like a black drop shadow, I think works great. I pull up the transparency so that it's got a really nice, so it's not just like faded. And then I also like to pull up the blur, which again, this is not a great example of this. But I remember someone also said, this is just kind of, this is not a good photo for this. It's not a good photo. And why is it not a good photo?
Does it photo because it's so
busy.
many colors.
It's too busy. It's too busy. But we know this is like a free Christmas. I literally just drew this up. It can be literally an ad for anything. But if you want Christmas trees, how about we do this? Christmas tree. Well, let's even get more specific. Farm. Can it handle that? Oh my gosh, it can. Look at that. It has so many photos. So like, oh, and this one's a video. Oh, I like it. But you'll notice this video is like way too, like, how am I supposed to fit in this tiny little square? You can crop videos. So you come up here after you've got the video selected, you just, select it here, and hit crop. And then you pull down your square to fit the size that you're in. And then just hit enter. Great. And then of course we've lost our logo because just like with layers, if you're not paying attention to your layers, you'll lose whatever you have on there. And like, this isn't the prettiest thing because we're just kind of doing this on the fly, but I also want to add snow because I'm that kind of girl. So you can add snow to your post and have it snow. And then so when it plays, let's see if I think I have to, yeah. I don't know why the snow's moving upward. That's weird. I was hoping that the snow would actually fall. It's because I didn't select it properly. But the idea here is movement, clarity for text, making sure your brand is consistent, making sure your logo doesn't have silly white backgrounds on it. But just really taking the time to, let's see here, if we go to graphics, are there any moving ones? There are. So I could have actually made it snow. Like there's so many options, you guys, to just make if you can think it and dream it, you can make it here. And also, if you have no idea what you're doing, you can just go to their design templates and have someone else who's already made something really neat come up with your design and then just put your words into it. And everything again is copyright free because you own Canva, and therefore you can use it in your designs, and you can change the colors and the backgrounds to match your brand and just do whatever you need to do. So video editing, we kind of just did a brief little video editing because we kind of did the video in the backgrounds of photos. And like a really neat thing too is, do I have this? I do. Get creative when it comes to video. Don't just post a video, turn a post into, ooh, is it going to get stuck because there we go. So I have both photos and videos in this post that gives it kind of life so that things look, here, I'll play it again so that, there's balance, like there's 2 photos and 2 videos, the colors all match, and it just makes a post come to life. But when it comes to a video, like you've shot a video on your phone, basically what you do is you come back to home, you hit that all important button, the only button you need to know, which is create a design. You come up to video, and then you would just literally drag and drop each video that you shoot onto the white part here, and it automatically uploads. And if you can't find them, they're here on your upload bar as well. Oh, it still has the little gopher from earlier, which I love. But then also, again, you've got all of your stock videos here in Canva too. So let's say I wanted to make a video about my Hawaiian vacation. So I would be like plane landing. And then they've got plane landing videos, and you can go up here to the top and say photos, videos, shapes, depending on what you're looking for. So I want a plane landing. It's made it here. Then I resize it to the size I want. I have 16:9 here, which makes it easy. You can see here in the bottom, it has a duration of 17 seconds. I don't want to watch a plane land for 17 seconds in my family Hawaiian vacation video. So literally just grab and drag and drop these sidebars here to wherever you want, and you can make the video however long you want. So it'll tell you to see, as I drop it or drag it, it says, okay, this video is now 4 seconds long. So it's just as it's landing. So what happens after the plane lands, like people getting off plane. Does it have anything like that? It does. Oh, except I didn't do this correctly. Watch that. So people getting off the plane, you create a new video clip by just hitting this plus sign. So there's our new video clip, and then you drag the new video clip into the plus sign, and then you make it the size you want it. And then you just drag here, although this isn't a plane, but we'll pretend because no, it doesn't really matter here. I think everyone's getting off the subway. And then you can add transitions like a pro. What about a dissolve or a circle wipe or a line wipe? You can do match and move, flow, and you can string together. I've had up to 20-minute videos on here handled really well. So you can shoot whatever you like, use the B-roll that you like, and create your own videos. And oh my gosh, this is so neat. There's now AI video where if you go back to the home page, nope, not that, my bad, sorry about that, and select like 10 of your own shot videos, it will select the videos for you, edit the video, also put in audio, and make a whole video for you. You can also add in text, all of it. Whatever you like, however you like, with transitions, with animations, so super easy. You can make a 30-second video ad for your Leilani Estates garage sale, things like that. Like it's so incredibly intuitive once you start playing with it. And the thing is, like, that's what you need to do. You just need to start playing with it. Like, don't get scared. You're going to make like silly posts that don't really look that great at first, but as you do it, you're going to get better and better. So that's video. Let's see, where are we on here? So that's video editing. Okay, did anyone have any questions about video editing? I know we kind of glazed over it, but it's really just dragging, like shooting, dragging and dropping. And then when you're done, you just download it here at the file, just like everything else. You just hit download and then it downloads straight to your computer. Did I miss
So,
anything?
I do have a question. So I've seen videos where obviously people cut out little sections here and there
Mhm.
in the middle of the video and then uploaded them for whatever. So now when these videos are done, you can upload them wherever you want.
Wherever you want, because it's downloaded to your computer. So now when you're on Facebook or TikTok, you just go to your Facebook page and hit create a post and then drag and drop the video into Facebook, and Facebook's like, cool, looks like you want to post a video. What's the text you'd like associated with the video? And then boom, you're done. Is that what you were
Okay.
asking?
Yeah. And then so with the videos as well, though, you can cut out pieces of it.
All of
for
it.
dinner?
That slider that I was using at the
Yeah.
bottom where I was just dragging and dropping, that's how you
So within
edit
the
pieces
slider,
out.
you can just go and take out a few sections of it.
Right. And if you've got one long video, like maybe you've got 5 minutes of video, but you only want like 3 sections of it,
Mhm.
you copy the video 3 times, and each video you take these slider bars and isolate the section that you want.
Oh.
For each section, put them up against each other, put that little transition in, and then boom, you're done. And
Okay.
the new AI also will do that for you if you want, because it's superb.
Wow.
Any other questions on video editing? Sorry, we had to kind of go quick because I realized we're getting low on time, but I still wanted to do ChatGPT really quick because it's my favorite. Cool, then we'll move on to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, the website is chat.openai.com. I'm going to put it in the chat here. Can you guys see the ChatGPT up on the share screen? Fantastic. Okay, so everybody gets scared about ChatGPT because they don't understand how to use it. Stop thinking of it as AI and start thinking of it as a text chat between you and your smartest friend. So let's say I want to learn more about, someone give me a topic. My brain isn't working. Literally anything. Tim's got one.
Lava flows. Lava flows.
Lava flows. Okay. So you come down here into the messaging part, the bottom part, and you talk to ChatGPT as if you're texting a friend of yours. So you say, I would like to know more about lava flows. And then ChatGPT will be like, cool, here's all the things I know about lava flows. And she'll talk about speed. For some odd reason, I've gendered her as a woman. I don't know why. You can gender her, whatever. I'm misgendering here. So this is the cool part. So now that she has given you this information, which you didn't even have to ask her this to begin with, you can say, please make a Facebook post teaching people about lava flows. And then she will make a Facebook post for you. But you know, you might look at this and be like, I'm sorry, I don't wait, it's too bippity boppity boo, it's too whatever. You can tell her to change her tone of voice. So you can say, great, try again, but this time with no emojis and more formal tone. Now, I will warn you, I've asked her to take out emojis before and she just hasn't listened. So maybe, yeah, she's still putting emojis in there. Although she took some of them out. Okay, progress. But you can see now it's written more in kind of a scientific tone. Now you can say, make it so an 8th grader can understand. And they're going to talk in a more simplistic way. Now that's just for general knowledge. Here's where it gets really fun. What if you want information, or what if you want to write something about something really specific that it might not understand or it doesn't have information for? So for instance, let's go to the Kilauea recovery page and talk about something really complex, which is our voluntary housing buyout program, which, if you are not familiar, is a very complex program where we are delivering $108 million to folks who were impacted by the lava flows. If I wanted to make a Facebook post about this and just did not have the mental energy to come up with one, I could literally just copy all of this. Copy all of this, hit Control Copy, come over to ChatGPT, and then say, hey, please learn this. Paste it, enter it. Now she knows it. She's going to start spitting out some of the things that she learns, which is fine. She can do whatever she likes. But now that she knows this information, you can say things like, please take this information and turn it into an Instagram post. Did I spell Instagram? Not Instagram. Fun. Instagram post. 2 paragraphs or less. Can also turn, did I still spell Instagram right? It's one of those days. You can take anything and slap it in here and then tell her, I need you to turn this into a summary. I need you to turn this information into a social media post. You can also take something you've written. I use this all the time. I will put something that I have written in here and say, please say this better, because I don't know if you guys ever get this. Sometimes I'll say something and it's like, I know where I'm going with it, but I'm not quite there yet. She will take what I'm saying and then say it better. So it's a great way to just kind of like, it can help you write grants. It can help you write social media. It can help you write press releases. It can help you write emails. There's really, if you're writing something, this is how you use it. And what I forgot to tell you guys about, which is a really interesting feature, I know we're getting close on time here, is this part on the left is so important where it says new chat. You want to separate your topics. So like this chat should have been all about lava flows. But if I wanted to talk about the voluntary housing buyout program, then I should have started a new chat and started it there and then called it voluntary housing buyout program. And then if I wanted to talk about earthquakes, I would start a new chat. If I wanted to, anything new topic related, you want a new chat. And the idea is you keep a running conversation in each one of these chats so that each one of these chats is like a self-included, here's all the information. And then that way, as you're talking to her, she will continue to glean information from everything above that you've talked about on that subject and continue to learn as you continue to talk to her on that same subject. You can also use voices for people who are really, really, well, not really, really famous. You can ask her to speak in a person who is well-known's voice. So if you ask her to give you a quote in Mayor Mitch Roth's voice, she will search the internet for everything Mitch Roth has said and then say a quote in the way that Mitch Roth speaks. It'll do that for Lady Gaga. It'll do that for President Biden. It will do that for literally anybody you can think up. It'll note the cadence of the way that they speak, the kind of words that they use, and then replicate that. Like that's the kind of intelligence that we're using now with AI. Which is really fascinating. Any questions about AI so far? I know we kind of like blazed through that.
I know, blazed through it, but I do have a question. Somebody had said once that if you start putting in proprietary business information into ChatGPT, it picks it up and makes it available to everybody.
I mean, that's a really great point. Like what shouldn't you put in there? I wouldn't be putting things in there like my bank account information. I wouldn't be putting things in there that haven't been released to the public. I wouldn't put in anything in there that you wouldn't be super worried about.
But on the other hand, having just learned that and having you put this in here is if it because I've searched for stuff and I know the information's incorrect.
Right.
And it's like, can you, but like this was related to immunology, and it's like, no, you got it all wrong. So I wonder if I put my information, say, here's some correct information, and then ask it to take from that, will it continue to, I wonder?
What I've noticed is that she's always learning, but not always like self-correcting in a way that's really helpful. And I've noticed sometimes that she will pick up things that I will teach her and go into other conversations with, and then other times not. So I'm still unclear about how much of this is encrypted per conversation and how much of it is not. That's why I'm always like, don't put your bank account information in there. But do put things in there where you're like, hey, I need you to break down financial information for this grant that I'm doing because, public information, and it's fine.
Or put it in a nice outline form.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Great at that. Great at
And then-
taking numbers and
I
turning it
understand-
into a paragraph of information. Go ahead.
And I've also heard that unless you pay for it, you're not going to get data within the last like 2 years.
Correct. So like I had a lot of fun with ChatGPT this morning. I asked it how badly Joe Coy bombed at the Golden Globes last night. And it was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then it says, my knowledge base is only up until January of 2022. So if you try to ask it anything that is updated between January and now, January of last year and now, it will not understand. It also doesn't understand time in between that as well. So if you're saying, January 22nd of 2024, this and this and this happened, it's going to be like, no, it's not January 22nd. Like you just have to kind of get around some of those things. But
I
Well, if you
think,
go
I
to
think
the-
the paid version does have more updated though.
that makes
Yeah.
sense to me. I don't have the paid version.
$20 a month.
I would like the paid version, but I'm not quite there yet. But I find that the free version pretty much does everything I need it to do. And like the more you use it, the more you get better at asking the prompts too. And this is like so basic. There's so much more you can do with it too. It's just a matter of like knowing what you're trying to do versus what it's spitting out and getting better at helping it understand. What other questions do you guys
I
have?
put a link into a presentation that Dane had given.
Yes, fabulous. They did
and
AI
that
catching
is,
the
like,
wave.
so good.
Oh.
Everybody watch that. You will just, your brain will blossom. I highly recommend.
Yeah, explode.
watching.
And what's really neat too, and this is true of Canva, every 6 months or so, all the rules change, all of them. 6 months from now, if someone's viewing this video on YouTube, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so behind. Just because things are happening so quickly. So many new updates, so many new features. Canva is superb at every 2 to 3 months. They're coming out with a new AI tool. You can also make QR codes on here too, so that if you're making a flyer and you want things to be able to be scanned, they'll make QR codes, bit.ly codes, shortened URLs, all of it self-inclusive. I have the tip of the iceberg doesn't even fully encompass how little I've gone over with Canva here. This is just the most cursory, basic, let's throw you into the pool so that you can start to paddle kind of Canva thing. But I've put on the screen all of our social media, and then my email is up there too. If you guys had any questions that I didn't ask or answer, if you guys run into anything down the way where you're like, man, I really want to do this and I don't know how to do it. YouTube has some great tutorials on pretty much everything Canva related. So if you're like, how do I add a drop shadow to blankety blank, or if I want to edit video, but also in a stationary graphic, like you just have to ask someone's already made a really, like people are really great about making instructional videos on YouTube for Canva, because everybody and their mother is using Canva right now because it's such an accessible tool for people who aren't graphic designers. Like it's really going to revolutionize the way that we communicate our brands and ourselves and our organizations. So I love that. It makes me really happy. What else am I missing? Any other questions? I know we're over on time. My bad. Sorry. I tend to talk a lot.
Thank you very much. It was great. I learned some great new stuff.
Great. Great.
Yes, thank you. Mahalo.
Mahalo. And then remember to, if you saw something and you were like, oh, I want to see that again, I'll be posting it to our social media and our YouTube channel at Kilauea Eruption Recovery tomorrow. So thanks
Thank you
again,
for putting
everybody.
this together. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Thanks again for stopping by and for listening and learning and everything. I just love that we're all here together as one, just trying to make the island a little bit better. Go
Yay.
enjoy the rest of your day. Stay out of the wind and the
Thanks,
rain.
Jen.
And
Uh,
you too.
Have a good
Everyone.
one. Bye-bye.